From childhood, we were taught, be decent, truthful, and hardworking, and fate will reward you. However, the truth is that existence owes nothing to anyone. Hidden laws operate here which they prefer to keep silent about. You can show kindness, you'll be exploited. You can invest effort and receive emptiness. Why? Because reality is ruthless. If you don't master its true principles, it will destroy you. In this material, I'll share 15 life laws that they hide. Harsh, frank, painful ones. But if you let them penetrate your consciousness, you'll change forever. This isn't a motivational speech. It's a guide for those tired of being victims who want to gain power. First, no one will rescue you, ever. You can count on assistance, support, a savior, but they won't come. No one should extract you from difficulties. Not the government, not relatives, not friends, not your life partner. You're the only one fully responsible for your existence. And once you stop waiting, you'll start taking action. The Stoics claimed, become your own support. This isn't about cruelty, it's about power. The sooner you realize your salvation is only in your hands, the faster you'll mature. Support is possible, but you should rely exclusively on yourself. Because when you start depending on personal will, you stop being afraid. You realize you'll overcome, since you've already stepped onto the path, and you need no one to walk it. Second, people respect not the kind-hearted, but the powerful. Reality doesn't treasure softness if there's no firmness behind it. You can be the most kind-hearted, sincere, and decent person, but if you're powerless, you'll be exploited. People sense energy and respect those capable of saying no, who establish boundaries, who don't fear consequences. Being positive doesn't mean being defenseless. Be steadfast, kind-hearted, but fair. Don't allow bending for others' approval. And that's exactly why you'll be respected, because with you, things are clear. You don't resort to manipulation, but you don't allow games with yourself either. In existence, there's always an alternative. Be comfortable or be authentic. And while you choose the first, reality will use you. When you choose the second, it will start respecting you, even if not immediately, even if initially you're despised for it. Third, your existence interests no one, only you. You can cry, complain, tell stories about hardship, but people are indifferent. Everyone is absorbed with themselves. Yes, someone will listen, agree, maybe even sympathize, but truly, no one cares what you feel, what you want, how much pain you're in. This world doesn't revolve around you. It's bitter but liberating, because once you stop expecting compassion, you start creating support from within. You don't waste energy searching for understanding, you direct it toward development. A Stoic understood that pity makes you powerless, while action makes you mighty. And if you want changes, start by accepting this truth. No one should care about your fate. This is exclusively your area of responsibility, and the sooner you accept this, the deeper you'll become. Fourth, finances solve much, even what you reject. You can endlessly claim that well-being isn't about money, but reality daily demonstrates the opposite. Finances mean freedom, security, influence, health, choice. You may have a kind heart and pure soul, but if your pockets are empty, you depend on others' support, on circumstances, on strangers' decisions. Stoics didn't worship wealth, but they didn't deny its power either. They strived for independence. And in modern reality, without financial independence, you're just a puppet. You don't choose where to live. You don't choose your work relationships. You don't choose how to communicate. You exist. And existing isn't living. So don't be ashamed of striving for money. It's shameful to live life without understanding how the world works. And it works exactly like this. Whoever has resources has a voice. Fifth, no one should love you, not even your family. You can be a perfect child, caring wife, devoted friend, and still not receive love in return. Because feelings can't be purchased. They're not guaranteed and don't have to exist. Parents may not understand you. Partners may fall out of love. Friends may leave. This isn't betrayal, it's existence. Expecting to be loved simply for existing makes you vulnerable. Accepting that love is a gift, not an obligation, liberates you. A Stoic doesn't demand feelings. He values them if they're genuine, but doesn't cling when they disappear. because his support isn't in external approval, it's within himself. He doesn't demand love. He gives it if he wants to, and can exist without it if necessary. And that's true inner maturity. Sixth, your dreams are useless to anyone if you do nothing. You can spend years talking about wanting to start a business, relocate, begin living differently. But if there's no action behind words, it's emptiness. People respect not dreamers, but those who get up and act. Even with mistakes, even slowly, even from the ground up. A Stoic doesn't build castles in the air. He sets goals and acts daily without unnecessary noise, because he understands that dreams without effort are a form of self-deception. And if you want to change your existence, you don't need a perfect plan. You need movement. Start small. Start today, because the world listens not to those who speak, but to those who demonstrate. And the longer you postpone the first step, the farther you are from who you want to become. And to those who just dream, life owes nothing. Seventh, your emotions are your problem. You can get angry, offended, irritated, fall into despair, and that's natural. But no one should understand you, tolerate you, or adapt to you. The world won't tiptoe around just to avoid hurting your feelings. Stoics understood this clearly. Emotions are internal fire that must be controlled. If you let feelings control you, you lose power. You lash out at loved ones, destroy relationships, make mistakes you regret, then blame everyone around you. But the truth is that your reactions are your area of responsibility. Neither parents, nor partners, nor bosses are guilty of your explosion. That was your choice. And until you take responsibility for your state, you'll always be powerless. Wisdom begins with something simple. I'm responsible for what happens inside me. That's power. The more you wait, the less you'll have. Waiting is the most reliable strategy for losing time, energy, and opportunities. People spend years waiting for the perfect moment, inspiration, confidence, approval. But life goes on and passes by. While you wait, others act. While you hesitate, someone has already begun. A Stoic doesn't wait for everything to become perfect. He knows perfect won't come. There's only now, under any conditions, with what you have. Therefore, he gets up and acts. Even with mistakes, even uncertainly, but he moves. And that's exactly what gives him strength. Because with each step, he grows stronger, while those standing still always weaken. Remember, fear always hides behind waiting. And fear isn't something to submit to, it's something to overcome. And the sooner, the better. Wait and you lose. Act and you grow. Ninth, the world is unfair and won't be fair. You can be worthy, smart, persistent, and still lose. While someone lazy, vile, arrogant gets everything. That's reality. And if you live thinking life should be fair, you'll be eternally disappointed. Stoics accepted the world as it is, without illusions, without complaints. They didn't waste energy fighting what can't be changed. Instead, they strengthened themselves to cope. This doesn't mean surrender. It means stop whining and start acting within reality's framework. You can't change the rules, but you can become a player who knows how to win despite everything. Fairness is good if it exists, but if not, you still move forward because you exist not by dreams but by facts. And the sooner you accept this, the stronger you'll become. 10th, you either lift yourself up or destroy yourself. No one does to you what you don't allow. People can insult, betray, ignore, but if you tolerate it, you're participating in it. If you stay silent when humiliated, you support it. If you don't respect yourself, no one will. Stoics taught that your life reflects your decisions. And the most destructive decision is being passive, allowing, justifying, tolerating. Real change begins when you tell yourself, enough, not because someone came and saved you, but because you understood. Either you start building yourself or everything around will shape you, others' opinions, others' anger, others' fears. Rising begins with harsh honesty, and honesty begins with choice. Who are you? A creator or a result of what was done to you? 11th, the strong also break, just silently. You can see a confident person, calm, composed, and think everything's perfect for them. But the truth is they also experience pain, fear, loneliness. They just don't make a show of it. Stoics didn't teach suppressing feelings. They taught experiencing them with dignity, in silence, without complaints, because strength isn't in absence of pain, but in how you handle it. The world loves breaking those who show weakness. It's harsh, but true. Therefore, a real Stoic doesn't display suffering publicly. He pauses, looks inward, and continues walking. Not because it's easy, but because he knows every fall isn't the end, it's a test. And if you didn't give up, you've already won. Let no one see. What matters is that you know yourself. You endured, which means you became stronger. 12th, you pay for everything. Always. Every decision has a price. When you choose procrastination, you pay with missed opportunities. When you choose comfort, you pay with unrealized potential. When you choose silence, you pay with lost respect. Conversely, when you get up early, you pay with fatigue but gain strength. When you speak truth, you pay with risk but gain freedom. It's impossible to pay nothing. The question is what you get in return. Stoics knew everything in life is a transaction. And if you want to grow, you'll have to sacrifice time, comfort, illusions. But in return, you get what money can't buy: character. And once you start thinking through the price of choice, you'll stop living in rose-colored glasses. You'll understand that every day you purchase your destiny by how you exist. 13th, self-destruction is also a choice. Just a quiet one. You can avoid drinking, drugs, yelling at everyone, yet slowly destroy yourself through laziness, constant excuses, toxic relationships you stay in, work you hate, food that kills, thoughts that daily tell you you're nobody. Stoics said, what you allow, you choose. And if you tolerate your degradation, don't wait for someone to save you, because degradation is also a path. Just downward, slowly, invisibly, for years. And if you feel you're falling, you always have a choice. Stop, turn around, start climbing out. Step by step, because you're not a tree. You don't have to stand where you're being cut down. You can leave and start building while it's not too late. 14th, no one should understand you. You can explain, prove, bare your soul, and still remain misunderstood. And that's normal. People see the world through their own filters. Some simply can't understand you, some don't want to. Some use your openness against you. A Stoic doesn't demand understanding. He builds himself to remain whole even in solitude. You don't have to be understood, you have to be honest with yourself. And if you're not accepted, it's not always your problem. Sometimes it's their limitation, sometimes their fear, sometimes just paths not aligning. And the sooner you stop seeking approval and agreement from everyone, the freer you'll breathe. Yes, loneliness is possible, but it heals better than fake closeness. Real people will understand you without extra words. But first, you must become understandable to yourself. 15th, time is the only currency you'll definitely lose. Money can be returned, reputation restored, relationships rebuilt. But time wasted in vain will never return. Not one day, not 1 hour, not 1 minute. And the sooner you understand this, the more consciously you'll start existing. Stoics knew every dawn isn't just morning. It's a life segment that either brings you closer to your goal or distances you from it. And if you live days on autopilot, you're surrendering your life without a fight. Nothing's more frightening than realizing one day that you were alive but didn't live, that you were free but didn't choose, that you could but didn't do. At that moment, you can't blame anyone but yourself because time doesn't ask, it goes. And only you decide, into emptiness or into strength. These 15 rules won't make your existence easier, but they'll make you stronger. And when it gets tough again, you won't break because now you know how this world works. You can accept them and start growing, or reject them and keep waiting for life to change itself. The choice, as always, is yours. If this material touched something inside, hit like and subscribe. And if we get 5,000 likes, I'll create the next episode, 10 Rules of Inner Immortality. How to survive in a world where everyone gives up. Write in comments which rule you accepted immediately and which you're not ready to accept yet.